Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the Human Rights Day, which is celebrated on 10th of December. So we will discuss what is the major tenets and why this day is very important. So let's start. So it is observed on 10th December, the day United Nations General Assembly in 1948 adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on 10th December 1948, and henceforth the 10th December is celebrated as the Human Rights Day. The the UDHR established a set of common basic values both with regard to the view of human beings and to the relationship between the state and the individual. So what is the content of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? So it talk about the basic, very fundamental rights of individual human beings as well as the relationship which the state have as with their citizens. So that kind of relationship is also highlighted in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This year theme was to recover better, stand up for human rights. So because of the various things which has been going around in the world, in that regard the theme for this year is to recover better. So now from where we are now, we are recovering, we should be at a better place. So this was the theme for this year. What are human rights? So these are the rights inherent to all human beings regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. So they are so basic. Like for an example, your right to live properly with dignity is such an innate basic human right, which means it is irrespective of, doesn't matter which race you belong to, which sex you belong to, which nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, anything should not come into a way where you want to express those rights. These includes the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, right to work and education, and many more. So these are the very basic foundation of the way we have come to know the life today. So human rights are a very common and fundamental, very natural basic rights. Nelson Mandela has stated to deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. So it's like, again, you are human, you have certain rights, that's how you are human. So if you are denied the human right itself, you are challenging the humanity of that particular person. This has been very famously said by the Nelson Mandela. Now let's talk about the international human rights conventions and bodies, which bodies are associated with it, what are the various conventions. So we have the Human Declaration of Human Rights, Universal Declaration. So UDHR is not a treaty. This is something which you need to remember, that it is not a treaty. So it does not directly create legal obligations for countries. So it's not along the line. So that is why whenever you see that a country, for an example, in the case of Rohingyas, there were a lot of reports about how the human declaration of Universal Declaration of Human Rights goes against that the human rights were violated over there, but it does not create any legal obligation towards the country, and that means maybe countries can get away with it. The UDHR, together with the International Convent on Civil and Political Right and its two optional protocol on the complaints procedure and on the death penalty, and the International Convent on Economic, Social and Cultural Right and its optional protocol form the so-called International Bill of Human Rights. So International Bill of Human Rights include your Universal Declaration of Human Rights, plus it include the International Convent on Civil and Political Right, plus the International Convent of Economic, Social and Cultural Right. So accordingly, all these three together forms the International Bill on Human Rights. These includes the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Crimes of Genocide. So this is also part of your Universal International Bill of Human Rights, along with International Convention on Elimination on all form of racial discrimination, the Convention on the Elimination of all form of discrimination against women, the Convention on Right of Child, and the Convention on Right of Person with Disability. So these are the major, you can consider as the rights or the convention which has come into picture over a period of time, which upholds the baton for the human rights across the international community. India is a party to all these conventions. So this is something which you should remember, that India is actually part of all these conventions, which means you can understand from that perspective that as a policy, India consider human right at a very high regard. And which is so the kind of values which has been enshrined in Indian constitution as well as our ancient history. We know that India always aims towards a country which is more of towards like Vasudev Kutumbakam. It means the whole world as its home, and obviously the people residing within it will have certain more advantages over the human rights access. So our Indian constitution, the fundamental rights over there are over the top of these human rights. We also have a Human Rights Council. So the Human Rights Council is an intergovernmental body within the United Nations system responsible for strengthening and promotion and protection of human rights. So this is its mandate. It has to strengthen the promotion and protection of human rights. It is made up of 47 United Nations member states which are elected by the United General Assembly. So the 47 members are elected from the UN General Assembly. The most innovative feature of the Human Rights Council is the Universal Periodic Review. This unique mechanism holds a review of the human rights records of all 192 UN members state once every 4 years. So every 4 years a universal periodic review is conducted over the countries who are members of United Nations, and it will see what kind of human rights violation had taken place in that country, or it has not considered any human right violation. The Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights serves as a secretariat for the Human Rights Council. And then we also have something called as Amnesty International. What it is an international organization of volunteers who campaign for human rights. The organization bring out independent report on the violation of human rights all over the world. So just remember, Amnesty International is actually not a UN body. It is the Human Rights Council, which is the UN body talking about the international human right violation, but a non-governmental international organization is the Amnesty International, which again look out for the cases of human right violation across the world. Now let's just quickly see the human rights in India. So what is enunciated in the constitution? So as mentioned earlier, our constitution put human rights at a very high regards. So since inception, the Indian Constitution incorporated most of the right enumerated in the Universal Declaration in two parts, the fundamental rights and the directive principle of state policy. So the part 3rd and part 4th of our Indian Constitution has almost all the rights which were mentioned in the UDHR. So fundamental rights, so Article 12 to Article 35 of the Constitution, these include the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, saving of certain laws, and right to constitutional remedies. So you can understand that all these rights are already guaranteed to the citizens of India through the fundamental right. Then we also have directive principle of state policies, which means these are the articles which guide a state to get India to a state where all these rights are also provided to the citizen. These include right to social security, right to work, to free choice of employment and protection against unemployment, right to equal pay for equal work, right to existence of worthy of human dignity, right to free and compulsory education, equal justice and free legal aid, and principle of policies to be followed by the state. So we already know that right to education has become a fundamental right under Article 21A. We recently have been hearing about the labor code, which is called as the Social Security Code. social security code. So you can understand that the state is working towards guaranteeing all the other rights also, which is mentioned under the DPSP or Directive Principle of State Policies. So if you look at all these rights combined, you will find that India has already encapsulated all maximum of the rights which are mentioned under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Then we also have statutory provision. For an example, we have Protection of Human Right Act of 1993. In that regard, we have a National Commission of Human Rights that is already in place. So, which National Human Rights Commission at the union level, as well as State Human Right Commission in state level, and human right courts for better protection of human rights and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So we already have the statutory provision of National Human Right Commission at union level, as well as we have also the State Human Right Commission, which are specifically mandated to look out that there is no violation of human rights within the territory of India. So these are the few statutory provisions which are already in place. Then let's look at the recent events which has come into light, that the human rights situation in Jammu and Kashmir following the dilution of Article 370. So in 5th August 2019, Article 370 was diluted, or you can consider it as abrogated from the constitution, which means the Jammu and Kashmir no longer have any special status, and it follows the same constitution which is followed in every other state of India. And the passage of Citizenship Amendment Act have brought renewed international focus on India's human rights practice. So this is something which has gained a lot of traction even in the international media, where the Citizenship Amendment Act was anti-Citizenship Amendment Act protests were going on in Delhi, and international media was giving attention to it. So there are incidents where could be considered as human right violation. Since the 2014, the government has cancelled the registration of more than 14,000 NGOs under the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. It has also mainly targeted its own critics. So this is again some of the things which has been talked about the government, that it is specifically targeting the NGOs which are not in favor of the government or which are its dissenters, and they are denying the further fund for it. So this is something again which has come into picture. Scores of hate crime against the Muslim and other religious ethnic groups including Dalits and Adivasi, as well as caste and gender based crime took place across the country in 2019. The Freedom in the World 2020 report ranked India at 83 position along with Timor-Leste and Senegal. India's scores fell by 4 points to 71, the worst decline among the world's 25 largest democracy this year. So this is the grim picture you must have been reading in newspaper or hearing in the news channel, that the democracy is in danger and all, but you have to, so this is one thing, but we have to look at the other side of it also, that for an example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, government did decided for the Garib Kalyan. So PM Garib Kalyan Yojana was started, which provided the PDS system to the free of cost grains to the most of the people who have the card. And in that regard, you can consider that there are many places where the humanitarian grounds are also exercised. So don't always look into the negative news. We cannot deny all these things, but you need to understand from that perspective also that there is always two sides of a coin. And when you are writing your answers in your mains examination, try to have a more balanced view instead of tilting towards one side. So I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.